What up, reader fam? Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 authors who have been inspirational to me throughout my writing life so far. Before I get into my list though, I did want to put out a reminder about the End of Writing Summer Contest. Hold up, wait a minute, ya boy jacked up the title. It's the End of Summer Writing Contest, not the End of Writing Summer Contest. Oops. Moving on. That I'm helping host in partnership with Penguin Random House. If you missed my last video mentioning this, then I wanted to fill you in on it because I want as many people to enter this as possible. The writing contest is taking place on Underlined, which is a community for both readers and writers. A place where both can unite and share their love of stories. It's pretty great. Something that I find really dope about their platform is that you have the ability to share some of your writing. So if you want to tease people on what your story is all about, you can share it on the platform. The contest I'm helping host is also with the Booksplosion crew, so I've got Kat from Cattytastic and Christine from Poland Bananas Books. We each came up with 3 writing prompts. Mine is, as soon as I took a sip, I realized it was poison. I'm not sure why I decided to come up with such a dark prompt, but here we are. To enter, all you have to do is write a 1,000 words or less short story and then submit it to the form that I'll have listed down below in the description. The contest is US only. I'm sorry, my international peeps. And it started on August 21st and ends on September 7th. And we've got some awesome prizes for the winners. We've got a $200 gift card, an inspirational art print, and the opportunity to be spotlighted on the Underlined website for the whole community to see. If you're a creative person who loves writing, this is a great way to wrap up the summer. I really hate the fact that summer is ending, but this is a great way to wrap it up. So if you decide that you want to enter the contest, then I will leave more information for you down below in the description. Go and check it out. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 authors that I really look up to and that have been really inspirational to me. So without further ado, let's get started. Don't mind me over here just poking you. The first author on my list is Jason Reynolds. He has become a recent favorite of mine as I've recently read a lot of books by him, and I have just been completely enthralled by his books. I want to read every book he's ever released. My fanboy levels went from here to here real quick. I think something that really stands out to me about Jason's books is the fact that he really puts his heart into the story. As you're reading his books, you can just really feel the emotions and the heart that he himself has put into his works. He's also just got such a wonderful writing style. It's poetic, but to me, it's not like over the top. It's not too much. It's just enough to make me satisfied. He has a way of packing in a punch with his writing, but in a way where you don't even realize it's happening. And I also just really respect him for tackling hard-hitting issues within his books. He's also very vocal about the idea of being a dreamer. I mean, he released a dang book on the idea of being a dreamer. He chased after the dream of writing, and look at him now. If you're looking for a Jason Reynolds book to start out with, I recommend starting with Long Way Down. Next on my list is Susan Dennard. Now, I was questioning if I should put her on this list because I've only read one of her books, and that is Truth Witch, but I have been so inspired by Susan that I feel like I just couldn't leave her off this list. Just because I've only read one of her books doesn't mean I can't be inspired by her. There are a lot of things that I love about the way that Susan Dennard approaches storytelling. I feel like she's someone who really puts in the work when it comes to finding a balance with every element in a story. She balances well-rounded characters with a well-built world, a magic system that's intricate, and a plot that's engaging. She's got it all in her books. Can I have some of that writing juice you're drinking, Susan? Something else that I love about Susan is that she's just been so open about her writing journey online. Both her journey in publishing and then also her journey just as a writer. I feel like a lot of authors keep their approach a mystery, and they may have good reason for doing that, but I really appreciate Susan because she goes above and beyond in helping other writers. She has so many incredible resources on her website, which I will leave a link to down below in the description. She covers topics from the process of writing, revisions, productivity, and she goes into depth on her publishing journey. And she's had a rather tough journey on her path as an author, which is another thing that I find incredibly admirable about her. It's not been easy peasy for Susan. She's dealt with failure like a warrior. She had a situation where she felt like she couldn't write as Susan Dennard anymore, but she rose above and kept on fighting the battle. She doesn't sugarcoat the journey that she's been on, and she continues to encourage and motivate people on their own writing journeys. And I've got mad respect for that. If you're looking for a place to start with Susan's books, then I recommend Truth Witch, the one book by her that I've read so far. I need to prioritize her books! Next on my list, I have the ever so talented Leigh Bardugo. I'll admit that I wasn't the biggest fan of her first trilogy, the Grisha trilogy. It just didn't please me in the way that the Six of Crows duology did, and the way that it wrapped itself around my heart. Also, did you guys hear the rumor that the Six of Crows duology is now going to be a trilogy? Consider me shook! The one thing that I feel like she did maintain from the Grisha trilogy to the Six of Crows duology that I find the most inspiring is the richness of her world. She has a way of really building up a rich world in such a seamless way. Something about her world building that I really admire is the fact that she doesn't really make it easy for the reader. You're kind of just thrown into the world and expected to find your footing on your own. While she does provide everything that you need to know, you kind of have to work to figure out how everything works. She gives the reader enough detail to pick up on what the heck is going on. Sometimes I feel like authors approach world building in a way where they feel like the readers are dumb and can't pick up on things on their own, which is why I hate info dumps so much, because they're really not necessary and they slow your story down. But often I feel like authors opt out to do that because they fear their readers aren't capable of picking up on things throughout the story, unless it's presented in a way where it's just giving all the details up front, which is not true. Something else that I really liked about the Grisha trilogy and the Six of Crows duology is that they're both set in the same world, and you could read the Six of Crows duology without having read the Grisha trilogy and still fully understand the world, which I imagine might have been a challenge for Leigh Bardugo, but she did it in an incredible way. Not only do I love her world building though, I love just her writing style in general. Specifically though, just in how she describes her world. She's very talented in building and maintaining a certain tone throughout her story. I feel like it's even kind of hard to describe it, but I feel like it's kind of dark and gritty, but there's also this element of magic that comes into play. Magic that can get your heart racing. The place I recommend starting with Leigh Bardugo is Six of Crows. Obviously, this book has my heart. You all knew the next one is coming, and that is Ransom Riggs. What to say, so much to say. I really respect Ransom in the fact that he embraces the weirdness with his books. His books are strange, and in my opinion, in the best of ways. His characters are out of the ordinary, and not only in the fact that they have abilities, just their personalities alone are rather peculiar, aka Enoch. Something that really sticks out to me with his Peculiar series is that you just have to expect the unexpected, because that's what you get. Along the way, you discover so many interesting characters and strange and different places. I also just have a lot of respect for Ransom because for those of you who don't know, his stories are built around these vintage photographs. He takes an old photograph that he's found at like an antique store or something, lets his imagination soar, and ties it into the story. And I think this speaks volumes for his imagination and also just his storytelling abilities. How he's able to take these pictures and create a world and characters and string them all together in a way that makes sense. That's what I call talent. I also think that Ransom has a way of describing things in a really unconventional way. And I wish that I had an example for this, but I don't. But he can take a sentence like, his arm brushed against her arm, and make it sound so remarkable. And I feel like that shows how much care he puts into his writing style. Can you guess where I recommend to start with Ransom Riggs books? You're right, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. The perfect place to start with his books. Lastly on my list is another one that you guys could probably guess, but that is Victoria Schwab, also known as V.E. Schwab. Also known as my queen. I could honestly spend an hour talking about my love for Victoria Schwab and how much I admire and respect her, but I'll try to suppress the fanboy side of me. It'll probably slip up a little bit though. Something that I genuinely love about Victoria Schwab's books is her versatility when it comes to writing. I feel like she just continues to delve into different types of stories. She's written stories about monsters, ghost stories, anti-heroes, witches, a story with alternate worlds. I feel like with every book, you're not getting the same thing with her. Each time she's changing it up and bringing something different to the table. I feel like the one thing that she does maintain with her books is kind of that dark tone, but her worlds are each different, and I've never really felt an overlap with any of her characters. You know how sometimes it feels like an author is just recycling their characters? We don't get that with this queen. On top of that, similar to Susan Dennard, Victoria Schwab is very open about her writing process and also just her writing journey in general. She's very open about her failures, which is not an easy thing to be open about. Like, nobody wants to talk about their failures, but she does so willingly in hopes that it'll help other people out there who are also struggling. I feel like she's had a lot of hiccups in her writing journey over things that she couldn't even control, but the one thing that she knew that she could control was the writing. And she kept on writing regardless of the situation or the hardship she was facing. Even when it would have been easy to throw in the towel, she kept doing what she loved, and I really respect that. I always struggle recommending where to start with Victoria Schwab, but if you're looking for an adult book, I recommend starting with Vicious, and if you're looking for a YA book, I recommend The Archive. So those are 5 authors who I look up to and who have been super inspirational inspirational for me throughout this writing journey. I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. Who are some of your author inspirations and what is it that inspires you about them? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, again, I just wanted to mention the end of summer writing contest. It ends on September 7th, so if you haven't entered, get to writing and enter your story for a chance to win some cool prizes. Again, I will leave more information for that down below in the description, and let me know down below in the comments if you plan on entering. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos frequently on this channel, so if you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe, or go and click the little bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, chew.